dude, I am exhausted. Knees hurt, my legs hurt, my feet hurt. It's snowing outside. The most grueling physical things I've ever done. You know me, son. You fucking know me, son.
If you're someone who spends any amount of time in the self-development space, you know who David Goggins is. But just in case you don't, he's an author, he's an ultra marathon runner. He held the record of doing the most pull-ups ever in 24 hours, which was 4,030 at the time. He was a Navy SEAL who had experienced Hell Week 3 times in just a single year. And before all that, he had to lose 100 pounds in just 3 months in order to even be considered for the military. And if you haven't figured it out yet, he's a total badass. Now, David Goggins recently released his second book, and I've read both of them, and just learning about his experiences, learning about his perspectives, and the things that he's had to go through and deal with has honestly helped me in my own journeys. He recently went on the Modern Wisdom podcast and shared his current morning routine, which gave me the idea that maybe, if I gain so much from reading his books, maybe I can gain something by trying to emulate his morning routine. So that's how I came to this video idea. Now, who am I? My name's Kenny Wynn. I am a first-year medical student, a wannabe powerlifter, and a self-proclaimed gym rat. I'm also on spring break, so I figured if I have time off of school, I might as well figure out something that can be productive, and what's more productive than David Goggins? Now let's talk about his morning routine and figure out exactly what I'm getting myself into.
What time are you up? When are you waking up?
I'm up about 5:30.
Well, there you go. That's gonna be my wake up time for the remainder of this little experiment.
How long's the run typically at the moment?
Nowhere under 12 miles. Anywhere from about 1:30 to 2 hours I run every day.
I also really hate running, so I'm gonna run the same way he does. The only thing is I'm not an ultra marathon runner. I can't just run 12 miles every morning. So what I'm gonna do is modify it a little bit. I'm still gonna hit that 90-minute mark, so I'm gonna hit a minimum of 90 minutes of running every single day. But instead of making the minimum 12 miles, I'm gonna make the minimum 5 miles for myself. And just keep in mind, I've never ran more than 3 miles in one go, so this is still a challenge for me. And since the whole point of this experiment is to see if I can gain something from challenging myself in a similar way that David Goggins challenges himself, I'm gonna follow his rules, which is this.
Hard part, Do you ever listen to music when you run?
Never.
So again, there you have it. I'm not gonna listen to any music, not have headphones in while I'm running and while I'm working out for this entire few days.
Eat, and I'm in the gym.
So this is pretty straightforward. I am gonna stick to my original program, not follow any of his workouts while I'm at the gym. So that's just a traditional push-pull legs upper lower split. So I'll show you some of the workouts, but I'm not gonna conform my lifting to his lifting. So that is a little bit of a difference there. Now in the interview, they also talk about how Goggins also meditates for 2 hours every single day, and he stretches for 2 hours every single day. But that's usually later in the day, but I do want the full David Goggins experience, or maybe not the full thing, but close to it. So I'm gonna include in my mornings 30 minutes of stretching and 30 minutes of meditating throughout this whole experiment.
You cycle as well?
Yeah.
How long are you cycling?
So I've never actually used a stationary bike before. I've actually never ridden a bike since I was like a kid, but I'm gonna stick with the David Goggins experience. I'm gonna do cycling. So after my workout, after I go home, eat breakfast, take my dog on a walk, do some work, before noon, I'm gonna do 45 minutes of cycling on top of everything else. So this is all gonna start tomorrow, which is Wednesday. It's gonna end on Sunday. So that's gonna be 5 total mornings, 5 days. This is the David Goggins experience.
I don't know if you guys can see that, but it's currently 5:06 a.m. I am exhausted. I'm going to hit a wall and all my energy is going to be gone because this is really, really grueling. But for now, since I am excited to take this challenge on, I'm going to try to ride that wave as much as I can until I hit that wall. And then once I hit that wall, it's time to grind through it. Let's get it. God dang, my hair's going crazy. But anyways, this is just a little quick update. I have about 10 minutes left on my run. I already ran 6 miles. So just wanted to note that milestone. That's double any amount of running I've ever done in one time before. So that's freaking awesome. 10 minutes left. So I'm going to spend that time just walking, letting myself cool down. We're going to get some quick breakfast, and then we're going to go hit the gym. So something that I didn't mention before is that I'm still on a calorie deficit because I am on a cutting protocol, and that's not going to change just because I'm doing this David Goggins challenge. My breakfast is just going to be a protein shake because he says his breakfast in between his running session, his gym session, is just something very light. All right, so today's workout is basically going to consist of 3 heavy triples for squats, and then we're going to do a bunch of accessories after that. It's a low volume but high intensity day. I just finished more warm-ups, got my knee sleeves on, and I'm not gonna lie, I'm pretty tired from the run. So that doesn't really matter. The weight's already predetermined based on my percentage of the max. So we're just gonna have to push through it. I think the biggest challenge of the day isn't really my legs after running though. It's gonna be not listening to music because we're bumping David Guetta and we're bumping Taylor Swift right now, and we're just gonna have to make do with it. So let's get it.
Oh, shitty.
So it's about 9 in the morning now. Finished my workout, finished my run. I'm starting on breakfast. I have 3 eggs, 1 English muffin, and 12 turkey sausage links. I feel pretty good for where I am in the day. I thought I'd be a lot more tired, which is kind of crazy because I hit a new running PR of 6 miles. I hit 365 for 3 on my leg day, finished the whole workout, all before people's work days even began. So I'm pretty proud of myself. I'm feeling good. After this, I'm going to go ahead and do my 30 minutes of meditation, 30 minutes of stretching, and then I have some videos to edit. So let's go ahead and get it. 11:05 right now, and we're gonna hit a 45-minute cycling session. So far, I feel pretty good. I was able to really lock in and focus while I was editing those videos. Beyond what I'm normally capable of, maybe it was the cardio, maybe it's just placebo, whatever it is, I'm feeling good. While I'm doing the cycling session, again, there's no music. I'm probably just gonna be hitting some Anki flashcards, just doing a little bit of studying during spring break. It is what it is. So that's a wrap on day 1. Checking in for day 2, it's 5:03. Dude, I am exhausted. It's the wall that I knew I was gonna hit though. So we're gonna get it now. All right, something that we didn't really account for. I don't know if you guys can see behind me, but it's snowing outside right now. What would David Goggins say to me right now?
I'm like, okay, man, do you want to be a bitch today? Do you want to feel like a little bitch? Do you want to walk around all day knowing that you could, but you didn't?
All right, guess we're running. All right, I finished my 5 miles. I had like 13 minutes left to hit that 90-minute marker, but I usually use that last 10 minutes to cool down. There's no cooling down out there right now. I don't think it's gonna be really effective, so I'm just gonna do some cool down warm-ups or cool down exercises here. Guys, I squat over 400 pounds. I bench almost 300. I deadlift right under 500 pounds. That was top 5 most grueling physical things I've ever done. Holy shit. Anyways, we got it done. We're gonna get warmed up, we're gonna get ready, we're gonna hit the gym. It's back day to day. So I'm wrapping it up today. I did go a little bit out of order. I went ahead and just did my cycling right after the gym. Came home and stretched after that, and dude, that stretch was amazing. Did my meditations. Now I'm gonna get to work on some editing and some scripting for videos. So that is a wrap on morning 2 of the David Goggins morning routine. So it is day 3 of the David Goggins morning routine challenge. I just woke up, it's 5 in the morning. I feel better than yesterday. I think I'm starting to get the hang of this whole thing. The worst part is right before you do something. So if you just get over that friction and start doing it, you realize that it's not that bad. So I'm hoping that's what it's going to be today as well. Because my knees hurt, my legs hurt, my feet hurt. But we're going to go ahead and get it. So let's get on to our run. So I finished everything up for the day. I'm just going to go ahead and play some clips while I'm talking over them. So with the run today, I felt really in pain. My feet were hurting, my knees were hurting, my hip was hurting, but for some reason it just didn't feel as hard as yesterday's run, probably because it wasn't snowing. So even though I knew all that pain was there, it was really easy to shut it out. I was pretty numb to it all, but I just knew it was there. It's kind of weird. I could probably talk about that a little bit later, the reflection part of this video. After that, I did a push day, so just hit some chest, some shoulders, some triceps. After that, I did my cycling, went back, and I took a little bit extra time on the stretch because since I'm in so much pain, I really focused on stretching my knees and just my legs in general. After that, I did my meditations, had some lunch, and then now I'm gonna do some scripting and some video editing. So that is a wrap on day 3 of the David Goggins morning routine. All right, so it is now Sunday, which is the last day of this morning routine thing, and I am pretty exhausted, pretty sore, more sore than exhausted. My legs are pretty shot, my back is shot, That's probably gonna be the biggest issue running today, but we're gonna just run anyways, whatever. One more day, so let's get it.
So that's a wrap on the David Goggins morning routine challenge. Now we're gonna hit the reflection part of the video, which is probably the part of the video that most of you guys are interested in anyways. I didn't talk that much for day 4 or day 5 because I was kind of doing the same thing every day anyways, and I wanted to save some of the talking for right now. So let's get into it. I think the most pivotal and most important part of the process of this week so far was definitely that day and that run where I was running in the snow for 6 miles. That one was really, really grueling physically, but even more so, it was probably the most beneficial mentally. And let me explain what I mean here. Think about it. I was running in a cotton hoodie, so we got drenched in snow. The snow was falling down on my face. It was about 10 degrees outside, and I was running 6 miles. I've only ran more than 3 miles once, and that was the day before. I was tired. It was 5 in the morning. But even with all that being said, my mind was able to get into a bit of a meditative, trance-like state where I was just peeling back the layers of my mind, and I was thinking about the things that like motivated me, because the first couple of miles I was focusing on that F you mentality, that F you, I can prove you wrong. I was thinking about the people that didn't believe in me. I was thinking about the people that have wronged me in the past, said things to me, and I was like, F you, F you, F you, I'm gonna prove all you wrong. And that motivation gave me a little boost into time, but it didn't last very long. So as I kept running and running, I found that the most important motivator for me was my internal thoughts, what I thought about myself, my childhood experiences, my experiences as like an adult. That was what was really pushing me to continue that run. And it got really weird and really bizarre. There's this thing that David Goggins does that everyone makes fun of. Not really makes fun of, but like it's a funny satire kind of thing where he starts talking to himself as he's running or as he's working out. They don't know me, son. They don't know me, son. Who's gonna carry the boats? And it's very inspiring, but I never really understood why or how you can get to that point until that run where I was thinking about, there's this scene from Avatar: The Last Airbender that used to really motivate me or really like resonated with me, and it was when Zuko was having his internal struggle, and then Uncle Iroh tells him that he's going through this sickness because he's changing. He's undergoing a metamorphosis, and weirdly enough, I started saying Uncle Iroh's line out loud to myself as I was running in the dark by myself in the way he would say it. I was like, "My nephew, you are undergoing a metamorphosis. It is not a pleasant one, but at the end of it, you will become the prince you have always meant to be." I will post the thing here so you guys can see what I'm talking about.
You are going through a metamorphosis, my nephew. It will not be a pleasant experience. But when you come out of it, you will be the beautiful prince you are always meant to be.
But yeah, I was literally saying it just like that to myself as snow was falling on my face, 5 in the morning, 10 degrees. It was really weird. But just focusing on those words and focusing on the little things that really drove me, almost like as a kid, was driving me as a adult running and doing what I was doing. So it was kind of cool to see, you know, what actually motivates me. So I'm going to take that with me when I go to the gym. I'm about to hit a PR or whatever. I'm not going to have the FU attitude anymore, because that FU attitude, even though, yeah, it's petty, whatever, but we all kind of think that sometimes, it didn't give me the motivation that I was looking for, and I didn't realize that it was a weaker form of motivation for me personally. And probably the biggest takeaway I have from doing this morning routine, the life-changing thing, is that there's always another gear that you can hit. You can always work harder, you can always run longer, work faster, go heavier. You can always work a lot harder than you're giving yourself credit for. Now, the lesson that David Goggins always says is that there's a weak version of you and a strong version of you that are constantly battling for control. And I really felt that this week. And it's a little cliche, but that saying that people say you're constantly at war with yourself, that's the war they're talking about, the weak version and the strong version of yourself. And whatever you give into more is what becomes more powerful, right? So if you're not happy with where you are in life, maybe it's because you've been feeding into that weak version of yourself. Maybe you're not getting up early enough. Maybe you know inherently that you're not working at your potential. You're not working as hard as you could be. You know there's more in the tank, but for some reason you don't tap into it. You're letting that weak side of you win. And this week I really got to see that. I always knew that in my head, but I really got to see it in action in just those 5 days. So that's my biggest takeaway from this. Now, with all that being said, the golden question here is, would I do it again, or will I continue this morning routine? My answer is absolutely not, but there are a lot of aspects that I will continue to do during my day, right? I will continue to meditate, I will continue to stretch, I'll continue to run, obviously I'll continue to work out. Unfortunately, as a medical student, I don't have complete sovereignty over my schedule. In the morning, there's gonna be lectures, there's gonna be labs, there's gonna be more things that I have to do. I will continue to meditate, I will continue to stretch, work out, all that stuff, but it's going to be in different times throughout the day. So it won't be one strict morning routine. Another reason why I won't continue this routine, and just another thing I won't continue to do in general, is if my body's hurting, right? Not sore, but it's hurting. Like my feet were killing me, my knees were killing me, my hips were killing me. I'm not gonna continue to push the envelope for myself personally. Now I know David Goggins is a bad motherfucker and he'll continue to run no matter what. He'll do it, right? And that I think applies to certain situations. Like if I was in a rush, if I was like in a race, or if I was in a competition, or if I was some kind of extenuating circumstance where I need to do it or else, I'll do it. But on the days where I'm just waking up and training, it's my regular day where I'm waking up, maintaining my body and getting my mind right, I'm not gonna do that because it's not optimal for your progression. It's not optimal to reach your goals. And I know David Goggins knows this too. If he wanted to, he'd run a whole marathon every morning. It'd be nothing for him, but he only runs 12 miles. He said he ran zone 2. It's because he has a goal in mind, right? So it's nice to have that mentality, and I will continue to keep that in the back pocket just in case I run into a situation where it's needed. But in general, no. I'm gonna take my rest days, the days where my muscles are sore. Maybe I'll work them out if the program calls for it. But if it's my joints, if it's something that I should not be putting extra stress on, I'm gonna take my rest days. So that's one thing that I will not do. So that pretty much wraps up the video. What do you guys think? Did you guys like this video format? It's very different than what I usually do. And would you try this morning routine? Go ahead and leave a comment down below, hit the subscribe button, and I'll see you in the next video.